I have been painting consistently since 1979. For me, it's always been an effort to improve the aesthetic that I'm working with, because that's something that each one of us, whether you're an artist or not, you have your own aesthetic and your sense of doing things. And as long as that keeps improving and getting, in a sense, more and more synthesized, the better you are, and the happier you feel having some improvement. Every painting that you see has a story to tell, and it also has a logic where the sensibility or the kind of aesthetic that's embodied in it, that becomes a kind of cornerstone in your own mind. So you learn really from everybody, not just one single artist. There are no shortcuts in the quality of work that you do. You stick with it, it will stick with you. Have the humility to keep doing what you have started, and stick with it all the way through life. The only definition of success I have is that I keep doing what I do and try and keep doing it better. And in the meantime, do enough work to justify calling myself either a poet or a painter. I don't think artists become famous. I think their art gets somewhere. If the art speaks to people, if it touches them, if they see something original about it. But if they're looking at a painting of a Changez Sultan and they're seeing Changez Sultan there, that does you a whole lot of good, because that's what life is about as an artist. But you find yourself a niche where nobody has touched. You're never really competing with anybody. You're competing with the last painting you've done. What I would like to advise most upcoming or young artists is never to look for shortcuts. If they can avoid shortcuts, they'll be solving half the problem of life. They need to just have the humility to work. They should never emulate any artist, even if it's Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo. The best thing about art is you're never really competing with anybody. You're competing with yourself. I'd like to see many artists come up in this country and do their bit for the country. So value what others do and do what you value. That would be my message. The art scene then was that the artists really didn't have much of a place in our society, because by and large, here's a country with a martial race type attitude. If you wish to see the concept of beautifying our cities, so they'd put a plane in the middle of a square or roundabout, and maybe a tank in another place. So the general awareness of art here was not of an aesthetic kind, but of one that told a story about a country that might have been in a war or has the ability of standing up and protecting its own. So that doesn't really make for a good breeding place for artists. But then it's one of those things where somebody has the will, there's always a way. I'd love to see a much stronger relationship between art and the cultural identity, because we are one of the most diverse countries on God's earth. Also one of the most complicated countries, because it's newly born. 75 or 78 or 80 years is not enough to give you an identity, especially when the level of education has not been very, very high all these years. So it will take us a period of time, but arts is one area that can give people the kind of unity that is needed for the future.